Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Here's Eddie Frederick.
So glad you can join us. Households under attack by the Delta variant of COVID-19 in Barbados. This story takes the lead in today's edition of Caribbean Perspective for Wednesday, 15th September 2021. Details when we return.
Hubbard's big promotion is back. Live free for 1 year. Spend $50 or more in any Hubbard's department and receive a chance to win big prizes every month. Property or vehicle insurance for 1 year. Free internet, cable and data for 1 year. Free fuel for 1 year. Free cooking gas for 1 year. Free electricity for 1 year. Free drinks for 1 year. Extra cash account and the big free groceries for 1 year. Promotion runs from April 1st to September 30th, 2021. Live free for 1 year with Hubbard's in association with Solgas, Flow, Grenadian General Insurance, Carib Brewery, Coca-Cola, Grenada Bottling Company, Grenelec, Communal Cooperative Credit Union, Dutch Lady Milk, Promo, Danny and Supreme. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back. The Delta variant of COVID-19 has been moving through households in Barbados, causing family clusters to be on the rise there. More in this Barbados Today news item.
Health and Wellness Minister Lieutenant Colonel Jeffrey Bostic delivered this update at a news conference today that included the announcement of a new national COVID-19 public information advisor. The latest COVID figures show 78 new cases, while 736 people are in isolation. Minister Bostic remains concerned about the spread of the virus among families.
Today alone, we have 8 family clusters from the results from yesterday, comprising between 2 to 7 persons. And between the 1st of September and today, I believe there are about 83 family clusters, ranging from 2 to 8 persons. And so you can see that it is widespread, and we've also had some other clusters in the commercial sector of the country.
Barbados' new COVID-19 national advisor is on a mission to tackle the issue of vaccine hesitancy while ensuring that Barbadians fully embrace behaviors that can help to curb the spread of the coronavirus.
Veteran journalist David Ellis outlined his priorities as Prime Minister Mia Mottley announced his appointment at today's news conference. Ellis, who made it clear it was a difficult decision to take up the role and it has nothing to do with politics, explained that he made the move in light of the worrying impact of the deadly virus on Barbadians.
I think, though, it is not just a question of vaccination, but we are expected to follow the protocols as well. I think the message has got to be a combination of those, and that would be priority number one.
Mr. Ellis is particularly concerned about the response of the island's young people to the virus.
I think in the early stages of the disease, there was this message that young people were better protected. And while in the main that is so, the Delta variant has been making a difference. If you look at what's been happening in other Caribbean countries, we are seeing young people, 18 and 15, and in Barbados, I am sure we must have some kind of statistics that indicate to us what is happening there. What I believe we need to do is to share that information with the public as best as we can, because we have to draw a number of people out of the sense of complacency that exists. We are crisis people, Ryan. When the numbers start going up, people start dying, then you will see a different response. But we really shouldn't be waiting until that happens. So we have to use the available information now to get people to become aware. The boys on the block who are out there believing that they too are untouchable when it comes to COVID. So right across the board, we know certain pockets, but we are also conscious of the fact that we have to do more serious studies so that we can use those studies to be in a better position to understand the numbers and also to understand what is motivating them.
Prime Minister Mia Mottley said there's no mistake in rising infections among the youth, and she's appealing for more of them to get vaccinated.
Since the 1st of September, over 200 of our young people under 18 have caught COVID. 200 young people. In yesterday's numbers, 30% of the persons turning positive were under 18. The day before, 25%. Let us get real. If the Delta is highly transmissible and young people can catch it, and young people are not vaccinated, they will catch it and they will also help spread it. And to that extent, that is why we are saying that we need more persons. Between the age groups of 12 to 18, we've had 5,500 odd persons vaccinate, which is roughly now just about 27, 28% of the age cohort, just under 30%. We need to do better. On Saturday, you heard me say that we're giving ourselves the next 4 weeks to be able to ensure that we can do so. We have still another 26,000 persons that can be vaccinated with Pfizer, and we would want a lot of that to be our young people because of the nature of the fact that Pfizer is the only one of the three that we apply for 12 to 18-year-olds.
Meanwhile, there's no confirmation just yet as to whether the variant is in Barbados. But Prime Minister Mia Mottley, who discussed the matter with officials from the Caribbean Public Health Agency this morning, suggested it was a possibility, though not confirmed.
CARFA would have advised us this morning that they were seeing a virus that they could not initially identify at first. And of course, once PAHO came out and said that it was Mu, that in truth and in fact, it has been in the region since June. So, and we may well have it in Barbados. We just don't have the confirmation yet.
The hurricane season is now upon us, so we as Caribbean people need to remember to think safety and be prepared. Avoid venturing outside during a storm or hurricane, especially if there are strong winds. Rooftops and other debris are often blown about and can cause great damage.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick.
The Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association want the government there to rethink current lockdown measures, which it says is crippling business. Details in this TVJ News item.
Small and medium-sized businesses have been significantly impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. And since the implementation of no movement days 4 weeks ago, coupled with the nightly curfews, growing frustration in the business community. President of the Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association, John Mahfood, says the current measures are bad for business. It's why he's appealing to the government to rethink them. The current measures allow businesses to operate 3.5 days per week, as they are forced to close at 12 midday on Fridays.
We don't believe that it has had a significant impact on bringing down the rate of infections. I think, the very narrow window for people to shop of 3.5 days, but 3.5 days when a lot of people are working is not the best solution. We don't think that a Friday half-day closure is the best solution. And so it has to be rethought, because part of what we think is happening is that the condensing of the number of working hours is also causing problems in terms of congestion in supermarkets, congestion in public transport.
The Ministry of Health in Jamaica, meantime, is insisting that one does not have to do a COVID test before taking the vaccine. TVJ's Shamila Pullin reports.
Some persons want to know if they need to do a COVID-19 test before taking the COVID-19 vaccine. Chief Medical Officer in the Ministry of Health, Dr. Jacqueline Visesa Mackenzie, says it's a concern that has been raised with the ministry quite often. As a result, some persons do not want to take the jab.
The WHO recommendation is that a test is not required before being vaccinated. Clinical trial results have shown that people with previous COVID-19 infections can be vaccinated safely. The COVID-19 infection cannot be improved or treated by the vaccine. So a person with an unknown status at taking the vaccine does not turn out to end up having a worse case of COVID if they have COVID, or the vaccine does not cause them to have COVID.
As such, the CMO says there is no need for pre-testing. However,
we are advising persons that if you have been exposed to anyone with COVID-19 before being vaccinated and you have COVID-like symptoms or has tested positive for infection, then they should wait to be vaccinated until they have recovered from the acute illness and that they meet the criteria to stop isolation. And which for us, they have to be in isolation for 14 days. And so therefore they must complete their isolation period before they go and get their vaccine.
She also said there is no evidence locally to say the vaccine has caused harm.
There is nothing to say that a person with unknown status, and that is a well person, turns out to have a worse case of COVID or to be affected by the vaccine because they could have had COVID, or that they end up with any severe illness or anything like that.
Shimela Pulen, TVJ News.
St. Lucia's Meteorological Service is calling on residents there to remain vigilant as the hurricane season is not over yet. Don Nicholas of DBS News World reports.
So far, there's been 13 named storms. The projection was between 15 to 21. Right now, the region is more than halfway through that number, and Met authorities here are expecting the actual number to come close to the forecasted amount.
We're in September and we still have warm seas in our vicinity, so it's still likely that systems could form to the east of us and affect the Lesser Antilles. So we're still on alert. We're looking out for tropical systems.
That said, Mr. Joye is calling on the public to be vigilant.
We are in the middle of the hurricane season, and it's very likely that systems can still form and affect us. So persons should continue listening to the weather report from both NEMO and the Met Service for alerts, and be prepared.
He emphasized that persons should pay attention only to the official news channels. For the DBS News World, I'm Don Nicholas.
The situation has not gotten better. As a matter of fact, we are faced with some new challenges, and I think we need to take a different approach to the sector as a whole.
A worsening situation for the vulnerable transportation sector, heavily impacted by a plague of COVID-19 cases. First Vice President and COPT, Frederick, says the escalating situation has taken a massive toll on the sector as more members continue to test positive for the virus.
Right now, we must admit we have close to 50 operators that are infected with COVID. We must give those figures. We must let persons know that when you are boarding a bus, begin to think. It's not about being infected by the driver, but also persons who are coming on the bus to do that.
Did you know that your friends and family can now shop at the Food Fair from anywhere in the world, and you can receive here in Grenada? The Food Fair and GrenadaMarket.com now make it possible through secure online shopping and personalized customer service. Simply send your loved ones a list of your preferred items or let them fill an online basket, and the items will be available for pickup or delivery. Visit GrenadaMarket.com or thefoodfair.gd today for more details. The new norm. Spread the news.
I am Eddie Frederick. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean. In the meantime, please continue to log on to CaribbeanPerspective.com for more daily news and more.